one of the article, it was saying Mohammed al-Zahar, he's the senior Hamas leader, says, the fight is not about land. The entire planet will be under the Islamic rule. There will be no more Jews or Christian traitors. Leader of Hamas says, actually, no, this is not about the land. And sadly, seems that no one wants to talk about that part of it.
Yes. Well, the international media is on the side of the jihadis. The left is in control of the international media, and the left loves Islam. Now, why is that? Because they're both authoritarians. They both rule by terror. The left doesn't believe in freedom. The left wants to create all over the West one-party states in which dissent is crushed. And they're working on this now. This is why the Biden regime is putting Trump on trial. There's never before been an American president put on trial. Now, the idea behind that is to ultimately criminalize opposition. Whatever you think of Trump, this is what is happening. Then even people who have complained at school board meetings when they don't like what's in the curriculum, when the curriculum is pushing all this terrible LGBT business and worse, that the FBI has classified these people as terrorists and gone after them accordingly. Now, all this is designed to establish an authoritarian regime in the United States. That's the goal. And this is why the left loves Islam too, because Islam is authoritarian. It doesn't allow for criticism. It doesn't allow for freedom of thought. They'll kill you if you leave. And so the left, the global left, the international left understood we can't destroy religion. The Soviet Union, they tried it. They couldn't do it. China tried it. They couldn't do it. Now, this round of communists, they're not going to try. They're not going to destroy religion. They're going to make it Muslim. Islam is fine with them because also Muhammad said, remember, obey your ruler even if he's an Ethiopian with a head like a raisin. Muhammad was authoritarian. Muhammad wants to establish that you obey the ruler no matter what, even if he's outlandish like an Ethiopian or something, in his view. So the left saw they couldn't stamp out religion. The left is authoritarian. They see an authoritarian religion that commands obedience to the ruler. Perfect. So they're bringing in massive numbers of Muslims into the West. It both destroys the character of the nations that they're coming to, dilutes the national identity, weakens the national culture, and it brings into the country all these people who are happy with authoritarian rule and happy to live under the ruler, even if he's crazy. That's why the international media that is behind all this, that is in favor of all this, I should say, and why the governments of the West, they're fine with what happened in Israel, because they want to encourage Islam and expand Islam, and that's what Hamas is all about. Then the second question about Macron and the fact that the left is allied with Islam all around the world, with the exception of in China. Do I see that as changing? No. They have a common enemy. Then that enemy is primarily the West today. That the Islam has been set against the West, of course, for 1400 years. And the jihad against Europe, the jihad against Christianity has gone on ever since Islam began, just as the jihad against the Hindus has gone on ever since Islam began. But the left also wants to destroy Judeo-Christian civilization. And so, as I believe it was Mao said, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, they see each other as allies because they both hate the West. And it works the same way in India, that the left wants to destroy the historic Indian civilization. Of course, Islam has been set on destroying for 1400 years, so they're allies. And so I don't think that that's going to change until they end up destroying the West, which they're very close to doing, and end up destroying India, which I think might be a little more difficult. And that once that happens, once they achieve victory in Europe, for example, which they could do within the next 20 or 30 years, then they'll turn on each other. We saw that in Iran. The Tudeh party, the Marxist party in Iran under the Shah, they allied with Khomeini. And then when Khomeini instituted the Islamic Republic, he put all the Tudeh leaders in prison. And so I think we'll see, it's very likely we'll see the same thing happen in Europe, that once in power, the adherents of Sharia will imprison the leftists who have enabled them to get into power. But that we'll probably see within our lifetimes. Maybe not mine, but some of you here will likely see that happen in the next half century.